I was walking out of my office when my phone rang. It was my mother. She could barely speak through her tears. She whispered that my wife had called her a crazy old hag and then attacked her with a baseball bat. 18 minutes later, I walked into the police station. The room fell silent. One officer looked at me and quietly said, "Sir, please let me explain." What happened next destroyed my marriage forever. My name is Grant Holloway. I live in a quiet town in Montana, where everyone believes they know everyone else's story. I thought I had a happy marriage. My wife Evelyn was charming in public. She smiled at the neighbors. She volunteered at charity events. People called her kind. I believed every word. My mother Ruth lived alone after my father passed away. She never asked anyone for money or favors. Every Sunday she baked fresh bread and invited us for dinner. Even after working long hours, I always made time for her because family meant everything. She said Evelyn often rolled her eyes or ignored her during visits. I dismissed it as normal family tension. I told my mother to be patient. I wish I had listened. That afternoon, I received the call that changed everything. My mother was crying so hard I could barely understand her. She said Evelyn had come over to return a spare house key. Instead of talking calmly, she exploded with anger. She called my mother a crazy old hag. She accused her of ruining our marriage. Then she grabbed a baseball bat from the garage and struck her arm and shoulder before leaving. I rushed to my mother's house. The ambulance was already there. Seeing her covered in bruises filled me with a kind of anger I had never known. She reached for my hand and whispered that she never wanted this family to fall apart. The police asked me to come to the station to give a statement. When I arrived, something felt strange. Officers kept looking at one another. He quietly asked me to step into a private office. He explained that another neighbor had already reported the assault. Security cameras from 2 nearby homes had recorded the entire incident. There was no argument started by my mother. The video showed Evelyn arriving angry. It showed her shouting. It showed the attack from beginning to end. Then came another surprise. Detectives told me they had uncovered months of threatening text messages that Evelyn had sent from anonymous numbers. She had been trying to isolate me from my own family. She wanted complete control over every relationship in my life. I could not believe what I was hearing. The woman I trusted had been living a completely different life behind closed doors. When detectives searched our home with a warrant, they found journals filled with angry entries about my mother. They also found evidence that Evelyn had secretly recorded family conversations and edited them to make herself look like the victim. I visited my mother in the hospital that evening. She smiled despite the pain. She apologized for causing trouble. Hearing those words broke my heart because she had done nothing wrong. The criminal case moved quickly because the evidence was overwhelming. The videos, the medical reports, the witness statements, everything pointed to the truth. I filed for divorce the same week. Friends who once defended Evelyn slowly admitted they had ignored warning signs for years. Some apologized for judging my mother unfairly. Months later, my mother recovered. We started spending Sundays together again. Life was quieter. It was not perfect, but it was honest. Sometimes people ask how I knew it was time to walk away. I told them the answer was simple. The moment someone hurts the person who loved you before anyone else, they've already crossed a line that can never be erased. The hardest lesson I ever learned was that appearances can fool everyone except the truth. Lies can survive for a while. Evidence cannot. My mother lost her sense of safety that day. I lost my marriage, but we both gained something far more valuable. Freedom from someone who believed cruelty could stay hidden forever.